on Colonial Sports Center. Michael Deemer breaks down a historic weekend for both basketball programs. Nathan Breitzinger heads to the Joe to get a first-hand look at the reigning, defending RMU women's lacrosse team as they look to defend their title this season. And new RMU volleyball coach Danny Doherty speaks about the new additions to his team. Don't get caught slipping on the slippy ice as it's time for another episode of CSC.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Colonial Sports Center. As always, I'm Tyler Gallo alongside Kevin Plowcher this week. And Kevin, we have a full slate of sports for everyone at home tonight, don't we?
Yes, we sure do. You know, this is my second time being on here, second time also with you. We've got a lot of basketball to talk about as well as some track and field. Lacrosse is starting up, but we'll get into a little bit more about that later. I think we should go on here.
And with all the ice outside, let's head over to the ice as RMU women's hockey finally tabbed its new head coach. That's right, Logan Biddle, very familiar with the program, is taking over as coach after being at Penn's Elite over the past year without hockey. This is a guy that he spent 5 seasons as an assistant under former head coach Paul Colantino. He used to play here as well. 2 NCAA tournament appearances. A guy that's going to be a big part of rebuilding this program, and a guy that knows, lives, and breathes this program. He's probably the perfect choice for this program, if I have to say so myself, Kevin.
Yeah, for sure. And another big question was who was going to lead the men's hockey team as they're returning now back to the ice. And we got the answer as Derek Schooley has inked a new 5-year deal. It runs through the 2026-27 season. He's been involved in hockey for a long time, as he was the KOHA Grinder of the Year all the way back in 1994 in his playing days at Western Michigan. The first and only men's hockey coach, and he led the team to an NCAA tournament appearance in the 2013-14 season, so he knows what he's doing.
That's right, and he has been, the guy for this program for so long. But, with all the hockey news, there's also some basketball games being played last week, some really important games as RMU look to, finish off their homestand on a high note. We'll start with men's basketball, who took on Milwaukee. Milwaukee came to town after beating RMU the last time with the services of Patrick Baldwin Jr. Let's take a look at the highlights of that game. Start things off in the first half. This is a Patrick Baldwin Jr.-less Milwaukee team. Start things off. Michael Green III finds a pass across. Enoch Cheeks, bang right there, nails it in to give RMU the early 3-0 lead. RMU would do a lot of leading in this game. And then quick ISO right there for Michael Green III. Nails it from the outside. MG3 on fire. And then we got in here. Moses Bowl gets a nice pass and dishes up a nice meal there. And then we got a nice pass outside. Khalil Spear in the paint. Nails it home. RMU up big here again. Khalil Spear in the paint one more time. Bam! Gets another one in there. Khalil Spear has been a revelation for this team this season. Take another look at it. Just a nice, easy dunk for him. He does that in his sleep. Now a long pass to Vin Baker Jr. Stretch pass. Slams one of his own. And here's Justin Winston on the outside. Fakes it, shoots it, and nails it. Again, RMU is taking a big lead as we get into the second half here. Starting things up. Michael Green III. Wide open. Nice pick there set by Matt Mayers. Nails the 3. RMU up by more than 20. And then here's a long pass. Look at this. Wide receiver pass from Stone. A Spear for the slam. What a play. This made Sports Center top 10 at number 5. Brandon Stone just willy-nilly throwing it. And there's Spear to make no mistake as he nails it. Look at the bench going crazy. As then we got it inside. Jerron Williams outside. Khalil Spear getting in on the action. He nails a 3. RMU wins by a score of 77-53.
Following up on that big win, the Colonials faced off against Green Bay to finish off that 2-game homestand. They were once again without guard Cam Ferris, but let's see if they were able to beat the Phoenix. And we start things off in the first half here. Colonials up 1 early. Enoch Cheeks finds Tristan Jeffries in the corner for a 3. RMU up by 4 early. A couple minutes later, RMU still up 4. Michael Green III with a beautiful pass inside to Matt Mayers, who jams it home. In the end, Randy Tucker finds him for a 3. Enoch Cheeks with a wide open 3, and he drains it. Nearing the end of the first half, Japan Kellogg backs down Matt Mayers, who puts up the layup off the glass, and it's good. Moving on to the second half. Phoenix actually led at the half, 27-26. Cade Meyer with a beautiful spin move around Enoch Cheeks, up and around Brandon Stone. Now Michael Green III, he was big in this game. He drains a 3 from the top of the key, ties it up. Enoch Cheeks with a beautiful over-the-shoulder pass to Brandon Stone. He dunks it home. Let's take a look at that one more time. Just a beautiful find. Stone dunks it down, and he's excited. That's not the last we'd see of Cheeks, though, is, oh my, what a slam over Cade Meyer. You can see Andy Toole trying to get the guys back on defense. And the dagger, Michael Green III for 3. Puts the game on ice. Colonials win 62-60. Head coach Andy Toole spoke after the game.
We were able to get some stops late. We were able to get on the backboards. You know, Enoch had a number of huge offensive rebounds. B-Stone had a couple of huge offensive rebounds. Some of the effort plays that kind of separate winning and losing we made tonight, and I think that was the difference.
Moving on to the RMU women's basketball team, they kicked off a 2-game homestand of their own, and they faced off against the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. They were looking to get revenge after they lost earlier in the season. Let's take a look and see how they fared. Start off again in the first half, kick things here early on. Esther Castillo pulls up and drains a 3. However, Aaliyah McQueen drains a 3 of her own. Nina Augustin finds Sol Castro inside for the easy layup. Castro finished with 8. Now Mackenzie Amalia, she was big in this game. She drains a 3. She finished with 12. Just before the half, Esther Castillo finds a cutting Ashaya Klopfenstein, who puts it in at the buzzer, giving RMU an 11-point lead at the break. And they're excited. Moving on to the second half, Colonials now up 15, but Oakland wasn't going to go down without a fight. Kennedy Montu hits a 3 there. And later, Colonials are up 10. Nina Augustin finds a wide-open Alejandra Mastral in the corner. She drains a 3. Mastral finished with 11. Now, as the shot clock's expiring, a beautiful over-the-shoulder pass from Esther Castillo to Ashaya Klopfenstein, who hits the jumper. RMU up 11 late. The shot clock's running out. Esther Castillo finds Mackenzie Amalia from way downtown, and she drains a 3, and she puts this one on ice. The Colonials win 73-65.
Men's basketball continued their homestand, wrapping it up by, women's basketball wrapped up their homestand by facing off against Detroit Mercy, a team they beat early in the season to start off their Horizon League play. Let's see if the Colonials can keep the good times rolling and finish off a sweep of all the games for their basketball programs this year. Start things off in the first half. Right open, right away. Brandy Washington outside, nails the contested 3, start things up. And Detroit Mercy on a good fight to start things out. Here's Esther Castillo getting in with a nice friendly roll. RMU up 11-5. And then from the outside, you've got Tori Powell. She hits one. And then going to the other side, wide open Esther Castillo. She hits one to respond. It was a quick 12-0 run for Detroit Mercy, but RMU got right back into things. And here's another 3 from Nina Augustin. Way outside, hits one. Again, nice splash there for Nina Augustin. Moving into the second half. Here's Brandy Washington on the outside. Hits one way deep. Nice little arcing shot that goes in. Staying pace here as Esther Castillo hits it from the outside. Another 3. She was on fire in this game. She stuffed the stat sheet pretty well. And then a steal from Ashaya Klopfenstein. Easiest layup she'll ever put it in her life. Right there. Nails it in there. RMU starting to stake their claim to the lead. And then moving in right here, we've got Irene Marua, who gets a bucket to keep them close. Mackenzie Amelia, she says, nah, right there, puts one in. RMU really just starting to run away a little bit here. Then we got Mastral, Alex Mastral with a free layup, nails it in. RMU, again, leading just by 4 as we get into the later stages of this game. And here is Nina Augustin, way outside the dagger as RMU wins by a score of 68-56 to sweep the week for RMU basketball programs, and we'll move it over to Scott Cheddar and Ashaya Klopfenstein.
I think we're growing. I talk a lot with our team. Ashaya would know, always tell them we're built for March. You know, this is January, and to be built for March means that you're a work in progress right now. There's going to be tougher days, there's going to be good days, but at the end of the day, are we getting better?
We are really starting to be a team and to encourage each other, so that's been really cool to see. And I think we've just grown in confidence under Coach Schneider.
A lot of basketball we just went over there, Tyler, so somebody's got to break it down for us. When we come back, Michael Deemer hits us with a basketball breakdown as well as something new that you don't want to miss. Stay tuned right here on Colonial Sports Center.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
You quit smoking and thought, that's that. But here's the thing about lung cancer. By the time you see the symptoms, you quit smoking. It could be too late. That's that. But here's the thing about lung cancer. But now, by the time you see the symptoms, can detect lung cancer early. It could be too late. Curable. If you smoke, get scanned. Talk to your doctor or learn more at SaveByTheScan. There's a new scan that can.
Hello, everyone, and once again, welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. So, as we just saw, the basketball teams had a 4-0 sweep last week, the first time they've swept a series of 4 games in a week since March 4th, 2020. Both basketball teams won both of their games last week. Michael Deemer takes a closer look at it. Michael, take it away.
It was an excellent weekend for RMU basketball. Both men's and women's teams swept their competition at home. It was the first time the teams went 4-0 in 4 days since the 2020 NEC tournament. Both programs seem to have found their much-needed groove, winning at the right times, attempting to get hot come March. We'll start out with the men's team. The Colonials only had 2 conference wins going into Thursday's matchup against Milwaukee, desperately needing a win to keep their season afloat. The Panthers looked lost at the UPMC Event Center as the Colonials ran circles around them. Khalil Spears' career-high 25 points and 1 rebound short of a double-double led to, in Andy Toole's eyes, the best game they have played all year, with a 77-53 thrashing. Unlike Thursday's performance, Saturday's performance against Green Bay, the Colonials did not shoot well, as they had hoped, just shooting 36%. However, the rebounding was the key, out-rebounding the Phoenix by a +13 margin. Michael Green III's season-high 21 points, and Enoch Cheeks' double-double were the difference for a nail-biting 62-60 win. Now to the women's team. Sandwiched in between the 2 men's games, the Event Center opened its doors Friday night against Oakland. Esther Casito continued her season to remember, leading the game with 17 points. Ashaya Klopfenstein also shined, having her long overdue big night. 16 points and 6 rebounds were something the Colonials are asking from the junior. Mackenzie Amelia hit a season-high 4 threes, leading to a 73-65 victory. It was impossible not to talk about Esther Casito on Sunday's matinee versus Detroit Mercy. Casito leads the team in scoring, becoming the most consistent player on the roster, consisting of stat stuffing night after night. She had another 17-point performance with 8 rebounds and a career-high 6 steals, defeating the winless Titans 68-56. Both of these teams needed wins in their back pocket come Horizon League tournament time, and what better way to do that at the same time in front of a home crowd. Reporting for Colonial Sports Center, I'm Michael Deemer.
Thanks for that, Michael. We've got a new podcast over on Colonial Sports Network called Colonial Classics, where we take a deep dive into all things RMU historically. Colby Sherwin and Sam Goldberg sat down to talk about the first ever RMU men's basketball team to make the NCAA tournament. Guys, take it away.
Let's go into what the Eastern Collegiate Athletic Conference Metro was, or the ECACM for short. Some notable names, mostly football schools at this point. Townsend, Loyola, Maryland, not Loyola Chicago. Siena, Baltimore. I don't know who Baltimore is. St. Francis, New York, Burley Dickinson, RMU, Long Island University, Wagner, St. Francis, Pennsylvania, so a very old rival. There they are for the first time in the conference together, and Marcets. Now, I heard a lot of these schools, but Baltimore?
Yeah, I was kind of confused on Baltimore. I was like, I don't know who or like where they're located, or well, obviously they're located in Baltimore, but like, you know, I was kind of confused. I was like, I don't know where what Baltimore has turned into now, or if it's just a discontinued college. I no idea.
So in the championship round of the conference tournament, they would take on Long Island University, and we'll get there. But their first matchup, December 23rd, 1981, in the Schwartz Arena Center. A great name.
Thanks for that insightful look into that, pretty legendary team for RMU. And if you want more like that, make sure you head to colonialsportsnetwork.com for everything about RMU athletics, as we aim to get you closer to the Colonials than ever before. Once again, a student-run media site here at RMU for sports. Again, we have some great content going up there almost daily. We've got podcasts, features, and just regular breaking news that you can get and get your fix in for RMU Sports. And once again, follow us on Twitter at RMU_CSN and on Instagram at Colonial Sports Network. Over the past few days, we received the tragic news that men's golf assistant coach Dave Munoz passed away. going to be mourning the loss, and we reach out and give condolences to his family during this tough time.
Do you love sports? Then you should know about STEM. Because maximizing nutrition, analyzing peak muscle performance, calculating the perfect shot, and more are all made possible by science, technology, engineering, and math. In fact, there are more careers than ever in sports science. So if you have a passion for sports, then think about getting involved in STEM and improve everyone's game on and off the field. Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
By the time you see the symptoms, it could be too late. But now, there's a new scan that can detect lung cancer
Resuming
early
moments like
when
these
it's more curable. If
starts
you smoke,
with protecting our kids against COVID-19 and dangerous new variants.
SavedByTheScan.org.
Get the latest facts by visiting getvaccineanswers.org and speaking to your pediatrician or healthcare provider.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. Well, as the calendar turns to February and the temperatures start to warm up, lacrosse season at RMU is just around the corner. Nate Breisinger was able to preview the women's lacrosse season. Nate, take it away.
As the long days of winter are moving along, the Robert Morris women's lacrosse season is rapidly approaching. In 2022, the reigning Mid-American Conference champions are looking to pick it up where they left off from last season.
In their inaugural season of MAC play, the Colonials were a flawless 10-0, while absolutely dominating their competition from the opening face-off to the final horn.
We worked hard in the NEC for so long, made a name for ourselves in that conference, and then to have our entire school switch conferences, we really were able to make a huge statement as our first year in the MAC. And I think we really made a name for ourselves in that conference.
For winning the MAC, especially with that team, I was very honored to be part of that experience. We learned so much, and hopefully we can bring that same intensity and energy into this season as well.
RMU's exceptional regular season led to the program's first ever NCAA tournament appearance. As they took on Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish shut the Colonials out in the matchup, leading to a first-round exit. While the Colonials are not taking that trip to the tournament for granted, they are surely using it as motivation for this season.
But it was obviously super cool to make it to the tournament. It's been on my bucket list since I was like a little kid. So it was really cool, and I think we really want to try to make a few more strides this season as well.
With a new chapter starting this season, the Colonials are in for a lot of change, and head coach Katrina Silva believes that the team's family culture will aid in the future success.
The one thing about Robert Morris women's lacrosse is these girls really love each other. They work hard for each other. They spend a lot of time together. When you have that kind of culture and that kind of locker room, they love to see each other succeed.
As a list of players departed from the program, the Colonials will look for new players to step up this season.
On offense, it's going to be a whole new group. So it's exciting. We're playing a new style. We're excited to use new people. I'm excited to see like Emily Kim step up. Kelly Flynn's back for her 5th year. Some bigger push from our midfielders.
The Colonials' schedule will feature some familiar opponents from years past that the team hopes to avenge some of their previous losses.
Yeah, I'm definitely really looking forward to Cincinnati. I think it'll definitely be a different year when we play against them, especially playing at home. Opening up with Ohio State, that's always a big game. Starting off with such a great team, a big team like that, it's always good to get some of those nerves out.
In the matter of one offseason, a lot has changed for the Colonials. However, they look to rekindle their success from last season. They will look to win MAC Championship #2 and appear in NCAA Tournament #2 in as many years. For Colonial Sports Center, I'm Nathan Breisinger.
Thank you so much, Nate, for that inside look on the women's lacrosse team. And now we're here at eBay for more buying and selling. I'm here with two of our best lacrosse analysts, Cameron McCoriel and Samuel Goldberg. First off, guys, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us. Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, so the teams are about to get underway with men's lacrosse, of course, playing at Duke this weekend, and in a couple weeks, women's lacrosse is playing at Ohio State. So we'll start things off with the women. They came off of an NCAA tournament appearance by winning the MAC almost unanimously. Cam, we'll start with you. Do you think they can repeat as champions?
I am buying this. They will repeat as champions. Last year, they dominated the MAC. They beat their opponent on average by 12.5 goals a game. Their closest game came against Central Michigan by 5 goals, and that was their first time against them. Next time around, they defeated them 20-10. So I don't think it's going to be close.
And Goldberg, same question to you.
So I'm going to counteract that point. I'm actually going to say no. I feel like there's 3 big losses to this team. You have both Gandy twins gone, and also Cleo Kerr is gone as well. That's a combined 80 goals between the 3 of them from that offense last year. It's going to be a younger core this year for the women's lacrosse team, and I feel like you're going to see a lot of more closer games this year, and I feel like the women's team will not
I feel like
win.
Despite having the offense has moved on. Their defense was still very elite last year. They had a couple games where they only gave up 4 single digits all year round.
But I mean, however, if you can't really score, then you know how are you supposed to win games?
So we'll move on to the men's side. They have joined the brand new ASUN conference this year, and they were placed 3rd in the preseason poll. Sam, do you think that the men will win the ASUN in their first year in the conference?
I'm going to also say no to this as well. I feel like new head coach coming in, Coach McDonald, I had the chance to sit down with him a little earlier as well. He's really confident going into this season, new with a couple new guys here and there to fill in some roles and stuff like that this upcoming year. But I feel like with the younger team that they have this year, I really don't feel like they'll develop into a winning team this year.
And I'm going to buy this one. Robert Morris had was above 500 last year. They beat Utah last year. And if they make it to the finals in the conference, it comes down to 1 game.
All right, and then rapid fire, guys. We'll start with Sam. Do you think the men beat Duke after they were tied with them at halftime last year?
I'm going to say no as well. I just think Duke is the much better team.
And Cam,
I'm going to agree with Sam on this one. I don't believe so.
All right, and then the final one with the Gandy twins moving on as well as Cleo Kerr, like you mentioned. Will Jordan Anderson be the goals leader for the women's lacrosse team? Cam, we'll start with you.
I believe she will be.
And Sam, what do you think?
I'm also going to say no to this as well. I think Kelly Flynn will lead the team in goals this year. She had 14 last year, and I feel like with the departure of Mackenzie Gandy, Kelly Flynn will fill her role this year.
Well, it seems like Sam Goldberg is the equivalent of Mercari right now because he's doing nothing but selling. Thank you guys so much for sitting down with me today. We'll stay tuned and watch the women's and men's lacrosse seasons as they start up right away. Once again, thanks guys for joining me, and we'll see you next time for another men's lacrosse segment hopefully, and we'll move on to our next topic.
Thanks, guys. Switching gears to track and field, the Colonials recently participated in the 2-day Youngstown State Mid-Major Invitational. Let's see how the Colonials fared in that tournament. So as you see, Katura Hunter with a first there in the weight throw, Yessi Valencia, Estelle Katende, and Reina Todero all with second places, and Tara Goldgram and Lauren Chappell with third places. As you can see, we have a very well-rounded track and field team, and they all performed very well at that mid-major invitational.
Now, while we're on the topic of sports that have a coach that is familiar with the program, volleyball hired a coach that was their assistant coach over the past several years in Danny Doherty. Our very own Ethan Morrison had the chance to sit down with Danny Doherty to discuss the recruiting class he brought in and the upcoming season.
A couple different positions. Macy coming in as a DS libero, Hillary coming in as a right side, and Caitlin coming in as a setter. It adds depth and a lot of athleticism to what we already have. Anytime you get infusion into new bodies, new blood into a system, it's always a good thing. All 3 of them are hyper competitive and do a lot of great stuff. Caitlin's super athletic. Hillary hits an unbelievably hard ball, and Macy digs a lot of area, a lot of stuff. So all 3 of them are going to do some great stuff here, and we're excited to have them be part of the program.
Mm-hmm. And, you lost, Emma Granger, Nicola Zanoli. So how does it feel to be ushering in this new era of RMU volleyball?
I mean, it's going to be a different situation. You lose some generational talent, but it's always good to start fresh and start with a good group. We're going to be really young, but that doesn't mean that we don't have great stuff still within the program. There's a lot of bright spots that I still think we have yet to uncover, and we've been doing a lot of training, a lot of focused with a lot of training, and we've already seen some good stuff throughout the spring.
When we come back, we take a look at the top 5 plays of the week in RMU sports, as well as me and Tyler breaking down our games to watch. Stay tuned right here on Colonial Sports Center.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Families don't have to talk about everything, but they should talk about how to plan for an emergency. Get tips and resources to make your family's emergency plan.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
It was certainly a very interesting week in Army sports, so naturally we take a look at some of the best plays from the week. Send it over to our very own Hall & Oates, Ethan Morrison and Colby Sherwin, who have our top 5 plays of the week in Army sports.
Thank you, Tyler. Now, it's me and Colby Sherwin here to talk to you and give you guys the top 5 plays of the week. So let's kick it off with number 5. Kicking it off this week, it is Ashaya Klopfenstein here coming in at number 5. Let's check it out. Look at this. Going coast to coast down here, beating Detroit Mercy. This one, Ashaya Klopfenstein had a huge day for the Colonials.
She was great in that one, but let's go to number 4 here. The men's basketball team taking on Green Bay on Saturday. Look at this great ball movement, and then watch Enoch Cheeks go. Pass it to Brandon Stone, and bam!
Oh,
what a dunk.
God.
He had a game, Ethan.
What a game that was. Another Colonial win in the 4-game sweep.
There goes Brandon Stone.
There he is. What a game he had. Now, moving on to number 3. You gotta check out this pass, Colby. Look at this. Look at this from Esther Castillo. Behind, over the head to Klopfenstein.
Castillo's been amazing all year, Ethan. She's been a really bright spot for the team that has a shot to make a run in the Horizon League tournament. Beautiful pass, and Klopfenstein nails the bucket. All right, let's go to number 2. Back to the men's team against Green Bay, and this was beautiful. Enoch Cheeks gonna get the pass from Green, third, and bang! All the way through, tomahawk game, 47-41. What a play.
Put him in a body bag with Cheeks. Look at this. Bang! He said he wanted to dunk this year. He has had multiple dunks like this all year long. What a dunk. Now, check out this, Colby. What are we playing? Are we playing football? I think we are. Look at this pass from Khalil Spear. Brandon Stone throws over the back of the head, and Spear with the jam.
What are we, in Joe Owens Stadium or the UPMC Event Center? What a play by the men's team here. And Khalil Spear, another great play.
Well, Colby, that was a great 5 plays of the week. And, you know, it can only get better.
That's right.
As we will see you next week for yet another edition of Top 5 Plays. Back to Tyler Gallo and Kevin Plaucha.
Thanks so much, Simon and Garfunkel, for that one. So now we're going to take a look. I mean, with every, great moment we have of the week, there's also some funny moments that go on, especially during the course of a basketball season. So for our first ever edition of CSC Comic of the Week, we're going to take a look at the funniest moment of this week's games. CSC Comic of the Week, brand new segment. First things off, Brandon Stone, men's basketball player. You may know him as the guy at 6'11", the tallest guy on the team. Well, here he is right here. Look how tall that guy is, by the way.
He's got those
by Kevin.
beady blue eyes. He could stare a hole through us.
Yeah, look, he's been pretty solid as the season's gone along. And at the last game, he had a fan. Look at this, cardboard cutout of Brandon Stone in the stands, rooting for him as he would take free throws, shoot on the net. Look at those piercing blue eyes. What a guy he is out there for RMU as he looks to gain his footing and really starting to become a consistent part of this RMU team.
Fantastic cutout, and it's good to see that he's got some fans in the stands.
All right, Kevin, so we talked about all the games that happened last week, so let's talk at the games that we're watching this week. Kevin, we'll start with you. What game are you looking at?
So I'm looking at the women's basketball as they travel to Green Bay, Wisconsin to take on the Green Bay Phoenix. They lost the first matchup 63-44, but they're looking to get revenge. Shia Klopfenstein, my player to watch for RMU, but Haley Oski, my player to watch also for Green Bay. I think the Colonials, they've been playing well lately. Scott Schneider said this team's built for March, and a win on Saturday would be a big step towards showing that.
That's right, and it's never easy for a team to go up on a trip to Green Bay. I've talked to several athletes who have said that is their least favorite trip of the year because it's so long and it's so hard to go to. Yep. But the men's basketball team is also in action, and again, as they take on UIC and IPUI this week, I'm going to look at the IUPUI game. This is a game that the Colonials absolutely have to win. IUPUI last in the KenPom, last in the net rankings. This is a team that is absolutely hapless right now, a team that has not won a single Division I game, and they don't have many Division I talents on their roster, only one. So the men's basketball player I'm looking at this week is Michael Green III. MG3 has had just a solid stretch of games, 7 consecutive of double digits after dropping a goose egg against Cleveland State at home, and he's also dropped 20 twice in that stretch. He's the player that I'm definitely watching in this game as RMU looks to get a win on the way in Indy. And thank you so much for watching tonight on Colonial Sports Center. Stay safe out there. This is pretty icy. For Kevin Paucha, I've been Tyler Gell. We will see you next week.